However, it's the government's responsibility to ensure that the law is enforced. And if there are to be proper environmental impact assessments, then they should be done.
That was Opposition Leader Aubrey Norton during a recent press conference. Dr. Vincent Adams, a petroleum engineer, had argued that ring fencing must be implemented as the government prepares to review an application for Hammerhead, the Severn project to be executed by Exxonmobil Guyana Limited. This was Mr. Norton's view on the subject when posed the question of ring fencing.
We have generally said that we believe ring fencing is a useful tool, that we will look at every specific case and ensure there's ring fencing.
According to Dr. Adams, the former APNU AFC coalition government was aggressively working to implement a ring fencing clause for the Stabroek Block, but when the government took its oath of office in 2020, it deviated from implementing this policy. However, the Ministry of Natural Resources in a statement debunked such claims made by the petroleum engineer, stating that, and I quote, "Every man, woman and child is aware that it was the APNU AFC that signed the Stabroek Block production sharing agreement, known as the PSA, in secret and hid the document for a year from public scrutiny." End of quote. When the contract did make the light of day, following unrelenting calls from the PPPC, there was no ring fencing provision in place. It would be recalled that the contract also contains a stabilization clause that prevents Guyana from increasing its fiscal take, unless the oil operator agrees to the same. If there are any arbitrary changes, that very clause emphatically states that ExxonMobil and its partners must be duly compensated for any economic loss it suffers at the hand of any new policy, regulation, or law, the ministry said. However, Dr. Vincent Adams reminded that Vice President Georgetown, during a campaign speech prior to the 2020 elections, the U.S.-trained petroleum engineer reminded this newscast that it was Georgetown who promised to renegotiate the production sharing agreement.
Let me tell you, after March 3rd, a lot of those contracts will be renegotiated.
That was Georgetown, then opposition leader, speaking at a PPPC rally in Mabaruma back in 2020. Adams posited that the government must be truthful with its citizens and to its supporters.
And as soon as they got into office, guess what they do? They reversed their position. They even went beyond that. The entire country at risk in operating above the safe operating limit.
I am Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.